It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160, 101.1 FM. We had him on with us just a couple of days ago. In fact, I think he was our last studio guest before the restrictions were put in place for the COVID-19 crisis. He is Mark Hilliard, president of the Indiana County Chamber of Commerce. Kind enough to take some time and visit with us on the air this morning. Mark, good morning.
Morning, Todd.
Good to have you back with us here today. Wanted to talk about this because this came out from you and from others that they've been telling us about it. We know that business is going to be affected and has been affected in a major way, whether it's large corporations or small companies of one or two. And certainly those small companies will have less resources available to recover from it. So the Small Business Administration is stepping up. Can you tell us about what's happening and how people can learn more?
Yeah, so after the declaration by the governor on Monday, the Small Business Administration released that they were offering low-interest federal disaster loans now for small businesses, and those can be loans that can be used for payroll, accounts payable, fixed debts, or any other bills that the small business may not be able to pay because of the impact of this crisis. So it's a low-interest loan. They have a long time to be able to repay that, up to 30 years, I believe, is the length of time. So businesses can take advantage of that, and I would encourage them to look into doing that. Now, we've gotten a response from a number of businesses who said, well, we're not sure. We have a worksheet that they have to fill out that we send to the Small Business Administration for this loan, and a lot of part of the worksheet says, what is the economic impact that you have felt from this? And a lot of businesses say, well, we don't really know yet. We're not sure exactly what that impact is going to be. Well, you don't have to necessarily fill that out if you have an estimate of what you think that impact is, because the worksheet does ask businesses to, what was your revenue at this same time last year? So comparing this year to last year and looking at what kind of loss you felt because of the crisis. If you don't know that yet, you don't have to fill it out immediately. This can be filled out anytime over the next couple of weeks during this 2-week, break, so to speak, that the governor has issued. So, you don't have to fill that out immediately, but if you do fill that worksheet out, you can send that to either myself at mhilliard@indianacountychamber.com or Byron Stauffer over at the county office, and he and I are working together to try to get these taken care of for small businesses.
So your roles in that as chamber or at the Office of Planning and Development is to facilitate the actual filing of these claims? Yeah,
we're taking care of the filing because we also want to keep track of those the businesses that do apply for, making sure that they get what they are applying for. So we're trying to keep a grasp on that, Byron and I, so that we can make sure that these businesses do get the help that they need.
Tell me about some of the responses that you've gotten from businesses, not just in this, but what you've been hearing about the business climate now here in Indiana County with this crisis and with the shutdown.
Well, I want to talk about that a little bit because it's a little frustrating. It's a concern of mine, and it has been for a couple of weeks when you could kind of see this coming. And we kind of knew that this was a very good likelihood that the business was going to shut down like this. But it's a concern because this does impact a lot of these smaller businesses. I mean, this is their livelihood. They need to stay open. They need to have that revenue coming in to be able to pay their own bills. And now that they are shut down, and I understand the reason for them shutting down, and it's the right decision just because of practicing social distancing, but, there are still ways that residents can support these businesses and, lessen that impact. There's no way that the impact is not going to be felt in some way, shape, or form. But I get a little frustrated in seeing comments of people that, don't go out at all. These businesses should all close, and that is just false. This isn't a mandate by the governor. This is a recommendation that he wants he wants businesses to close that are non-essential. But he did say that businesses could be open for takeout and things like restaurants. And there are businesses throughout the area that are retail businesses that have online options available. You can still patronize these businesses. You can still support these businesses and practice social distancing at the same time. It's not an either-or proposition. You're not going into situations where you're in crowds of 10 or more. With a takeout situation, it's usually a one-on-one basis. you and the cashier. So I would encourage people to continue to support these businesses in any way that they can. Please do not just avoid business and avoid trying to support people just because you're afraid of what might be happening out there. There are precautions that every business is taking, and if they feel like there's any chance of it being unsafe, they're not going to keep their doors open. But if you have an opportunity to support our businesses, do so, because otherwise, this is their livelihood, and it's difficult. We can't have these businesses not being able to pay their own bills and then go into just a complete economic crisis once the situation does resolve itself.
Yeah, one of the interesting things to me about the order and how vague it is that there are many, many businesses that aren't retail-oriented, that don't really have face-to-face contact with the outside world or with outside customers, and yet here they are being told to shut down. And it's not really intended for them, but that's not made clear in what the governor said the other day. It's really difficult to get a firm grip on information that is out there and on misinformation as well. So it's awfully difficult on these business owners to know exactly what to do in any given situation. But you're right. This is their lives. And these are people who have invested their entire life savings into their businesses and into serving Indiana County. So we can't just quit doing business with them and just let them out to dry. It can't happen.
No, it can't. And like I said, I don't want people to be afraid to do that. If they felt there was a definite cause for concern with even doing takeout orders or things like that, they would order these businesses to completely shut down. They haven't done that. In fact, it's been the opposite. They've encouraged that. They just want limited interaction with people. So the option is there, and I would encourage people to take advantage of it. Yeah, you need to stay home a little bit more than you're used to, but it doesn't mean that you can't stop and get a takeout order and shop online at some of these businesses that have those options available. Continue to support them in any way that you can. That's helping our economy, and that's ways that we can all help each other during this crisis.
So the Small Business Administration disaster assistance is available everywhere or just in selected states?
It's in states that where the governor has issued this declaration, like they have in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So if in other states that, and I imagine it would likely be most states across the country that are going to be having similar situations to Pennsylvania. But up until Monday, Pennsylvania was not a state where this was available. But once that announcement was made, then we were. Okay,
so just to reiterate, for any business owners who are interested in this, these are Small Business Administration disaster assistance, low-interest loans with, what'd you say, a 30-year payback period on them?
Yeah, it's a long-term repayment, so that it could be up to a maximum of 30 years.
Okay.
So, they're determined on a case-by-case basis with each business's ability to repay, but it could be up to a maximum of 30 years available.
So they need to contact either the Chamber of Commerce or the Byron Stauffer at the Indiana County Office of Planning and Development.
Yes, and if you give us a call, if you want what we sent these out via email, we're going to send them on Facebook as well, and it'll be available on our website, and same with the Indiana County CEO and the County Office of Planning and Development. But if you're looking for one of these worksheets and you'd like to get one right away, you can contact our office at 724-465-2511. And I also want to mention, Todd, if I have a second, we also created a Facebook page, Indiana County Shop Local, that we're trying to encourage businesses to be able to post on there what they are offering during this time. So if they do have options available that may be their takeout options or online options, in some cases we've had hairdressers that are willing to come to somebody's house on a case by case basis or meet somebody to be able to do something remotely. These would be cases we encourage people to get on Indiana County Shop Local on Facebook. We had a little bit of technical problems with it yesterday, which was encouraging because all these people tried to get on it and message us that they were having some trouble, but it was frustrating because the technical issues that we had. But we believe it's fixed now. So if you're a business, and you don't have to be a chamber member, it could be any business. We're opening it up to everybody. Get on that site, post what you're offering as a business. And if you're a community member, please share that page. Get on there on Facebook and search for Indiana County Shop Local. Share it. And get more people to follow that page. We want to try to find ways to support the community, let the community know what businesses are offering, and let people know when you're supporting these businesses too. We're trying to find ways to help each other out, and this is just one way to let people know what is out there from businesses that they can still take advantage of.
Very good. Mark Hilliard, thanks for being with us this morning.
Thanks, Todd.
Yeah.
Thanks, Todd.